Welcome to Star Bios, the podcast where we delve into the fascinating lives of Hollywood's most iconic stars. Born on November 26, 1913, in the picturesque town of Darjeeling, nestled in the foothills of the Himalayas, Vivien Leigh was the daughter of Ernest Hartley, a British broker, and his wife, Gertrude Robinson Hartley. Her early life was marked by the comforts of a wealthy expatriate family, with servants, lavish parties, and exotic travels that would later inspire her captivating performances on screen. The Hartley family's colonial home, surrounded by lush gardens and towering trees, was a hub of social activity where British colonials and Indian locals would gather to dance, dine, and discuss the latest news from London. However, this idyllic facade hid the complexities of a traditional British upbringing in colonial India, where social hierarchy and propriety ruled supreme. As a child, Vivien would often watch Indian dances and theater performances, which sparked her fascination with the performing arts. She was particularly captivated by the colorful costumes, the rhythmic music, and the expressive gestures of the dancers, which seemed to transport her to a world beyond the strict etiquette of British colonial society. These early experiences not only shaped Vivien's artistic ambitions, but also instilled in her a deep appreciation for the cultural diversity of India, a theme that would later influence her iconic roles on screen. Her parents, though not entirely supportive of her theatrical ambitions, did encourage her to pursue her passion for the arts. They arranged for her to take ballet lessons, which helped her develop a sense of discipline and poise that would later serve her well on stage and screen. Vivien's mother, Gertrude, was particularly instrumental in fostering her daughter's love for Shakespearean plays and poetry, often reading to her from the works of the bard. This early exposure to the world of theater would later inform Vivien's unique approach to acting, which blended a deep understanding of classical drama with a modern sensibility. As Vivien grew older, she became increasingly drawn to the world of theater, attending performances in London's West End and dreaming of the day she could tread the boards herself. The 1920s and 1930s were a time of great social change in England, with the Roaring Twenties giving way to the austerity of the Great Depression. Vivien's family, though not immune to the economic downturn, maintained their comfortable lifestyle, allowing her to focus on her artistic pursuits. As she entered her teenage years, Vivien became enamored with the works of Noel Coward, whose witty plays and sophisticated characters would later inspire her own performances. She was also fascinated by the silent films of Charlie Chaplin and the exotic beauty of Hollywood starlets like Greta Garbo. These eclectic influences would eventually coalesce into a unique artistic vision, one that blended the refinement of British theater with the glamour of old Hollywood. Vivien's early years were marked by a sense of wonder and curiosity as she explored the world around her and began to develop her own distinct voice as an artist. She longed for independence and creative expression, often feeling stifled by the traditional expectations placed upon her as a young woman from a respectable family. This tension between her desire for artistic freedom and the constraints of her social circle would become a recurring theme throughout her life, shaping her relationships, her career choices, and ultimately, her legacy as one of Hollywood's most iconic stars. As Vivien entered her early 20s, she found herself at a crossroads, torn between the comforts of her familiar life and the thrill of pursuing her passion for acting. It was as if the very fabric of her existence was beckoning her to take a leap of faith, to surrender to the allure of the stage and screen. And so, in 1932, she made the bold decision to enroll in the prestigious Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, RADA, in London, an institution renowned for nurturing the talents of aspiring thespians. As she delved into the world of RADA, Vivien's senses were awakened by the vibrant atmosphere that permeated every corner of the academy. Under the tutelage of esteemed instructors, she honed her craft with unyielding dedication, poring over scripts, practicing accents, and perfecting her technique. Her early performances on stage were met with critical acclaim, as if the very essence of her being had been distilled onto the stage, leaving audiences mesmerized by her unique talent and dedication to her work. It was during this formative period that Vivien met her future husband, Herbert Leigh Holman, a barrister with a passion for the arts. Their whirlwind romance culminated in marriage in 1932, with Vivien's decision to take her husband's surname, Leigh, marking the beginning of her journey towards becoming the iconic Vivien Leigh. As she navigated the complexities of married life, Vivien found solace in her craft, using her experiences as a wife and woman to inform her performances and imbue them with a depth and nuance that was unparalleled. One of her earliest notable roles was as Ailsa in the 1935 production of The Mask and the Face at the Ambassador's Theatre in London. As she took to the stage, Vivien's presence was electrifying, her voice soaring like a nightingale as she brought the character to life with a sense of vulnerability and intensity that left the audience spellbound. This performance caught the attention of prominent theater critic James Agate, who praised Vivien's exceptional talent and predicted a bright future for the young actress. His words were a testament to Vivien's burgeoning talent, and she reveled in the knowledge that her hard work was beginning to bear fruit. In 1936, Vivien made her film debut in the British production, Things Are Looking Up, directed by Albert Parker. Although the film was not a major success, it marked the beginning of Vivien's transition from stage to screen, and she approached each role with an insatiable hunger to learn and grow as an actress. Her early film work was largely forgettable, but she persevered, using each experience as an opportunity to refine her craft and push herself to new heights. The year 1937 proved to be a pivotal one for Vivien, as she landed the role of Ophelia in the Old Vic production of Hamlet, opposite the esteemed Laurence Olivier. This production not only solidified her reputation as a talented stage actress, but also marked the beginning of her long-standing professional and personal relationship with Olivier. As Vivien later recalled, Larry was the first person to make me feel like an actress, to make me feel that I had something to offer. Their collaboration would go on to produce some of the most iconic performances of her career. As if their combined talents had created a synergy that was nothing short of alchemy, Vivien's portrayal of Lady Macbeth in the 1937 production of Macbeth at the Old Vic was a masterclass in acting, as she brought a sense of wildness and abandon to the role. Her performance was hailed by critics, with one reviewer noting that she had electrified the stage with her presence. As she delved deeper into the character's psyche, Vivien discovered a sense of liberation, as if the boundaries between herself and Lady Macbeth had blurred, allowing her to tap into a deep well of emotions and experiences. As Vivien's star continued to rise, she began to attract attention from Hollywood, that fabled land of dreams and possibilities. In 1939, she traveled to the United States to audition for the role of Scarlett O'Hara in David O. Selznick's epic production of Gone with the Wind. The audition process was grueling, with Vivien facing stiff competition from other talented actresses vying for the role. But she persevered, pouring her heart and soul into the audition, drawing on every ounce of experience and emotion to bring Scarlett to life. After a rigorous audition process, Vivien was cast in the iconic role, which would go on to define her career and cement her status as a Hollywood legend. The making of Gone with the Wind was a whirlwind experience, with Vivien immersing herself in the world of Scarlett O'Hara, navigating the complexities of the character's psyche and bringing a sense of depth and nuance to the role that was unparalleled. As she stood on the set, surrounded by the opulence of the antebellum South, Vivien felt as if she had finally found her place in the world, as if the very essence of Scarlett O'Hara had awakened something within her. The film's release in 1939 was a watershed moment in Vivien's career, as Gone with the Wind swept the nation, captivating audiences with its epic tale of love, loss, and survival. Vivien's performance as Scarlett O'Hara earned her widespread critical acclaim, with many praising her ability to bring depth and nuance to the character. As she basked in the glory of her success, Vivien knew that she had truly arrived, that her name was etched in the annals of history, and that her legacy would endure for generations to come. As Vivien Leigh's star continued to shine brightly, she went on to appear in a string of successful films that not only showcased her incredible range as an actress, but also cemented her status as a Hollywood legend. The 1940 film 21 Days and the 1936 drama Waterloo Bridge were just a few examples of her remarkable work during this period, with critics praising her ability to bring depth and nuance to even the most complex characters. However, it was her iconic portrayal of Cleopatra in the 1945 film Caesar and Cleopatra that truly earned her widespread critical acclaim. Leigh's performance was hailed as a masterclass in acting, with many noting that she had brought a sense of vulnerability and strength to the role that was both captivating and awe-inspiring. The film's elaborate sets and costumes only added to the grandeur of the production, with Leigh's Cleopatra reigning supreme over the ancient Egyptian landscape like a true queen. But it was her iconic portrayal of Blanche Dubois in the 1951 film adaptation of Tennessee Williams' A Streetcar Named Desire that truly solidified her status as one of the greatest actresses of all time. The film, directed by Elia Kazan and co-starring Marlon Brando, was a game-changer for Leigh, allowing her to tap into a deep well of emotions and experiences that she had never explored before. As she delved deeper into the character's psyche, Leigh discovered a sense of liberation, one that allowed her to shed her inhibitions and fully embody the fragile, desperate, and ultimately doomed Blanche. The iconic scenes from A Streetcar Named Desire continue to be studied by actors and actresses around the world, with Leigh's performance remaining one of the most revered and emulated in cinematic history. Who can forget the famous "I have always depended on the kindness of strangers" monologue, delivered with a sense of quiet desperation that still sends shivers down the spine? Or the haunting final scene, where Blanche is led away by the doctors, her mind shattered by the cruel realities of the world around her? Despite struggling with mental health issues and personal turmoil throughout her life, Leigh continued to work tirelessly, pushing herself to new heights as an actress. She went on to appear in a string of successful stage productions, including The School for Scandal and Duel of Angels, where she honed her craft and perfected her technique. Her performance in the 1963 film The Roman Spring of Mrs. Stone earned her critical acclaim once again, with many praising her ability to bring depth and nuance to the role of a middle-aged woman struggling to find love and meaning in a world that seemed determined to pass her by. As Leigh's life drew to a close, she continued to work, albeit at a slower pace. She was diagnosed with tuberculosis in the early 1960s, and the disease would eventually claim her life on July 7, 1967, at the age of 53. Her death was met with an outpouring of tributes and condolences from around the world, with many praising her incredible talent and enduring legacy. The news of her passing sent shockwaves through the film industry, with actors and actresses from all over the globe paying their respects to a woman who had inspired and influenced them in ways they never thought possible. Today, Vivien Leigh is remembered as one of the greatest actresses of all time, a true Hollywood legend who left an indelible mark on the film industry. Her iconic performances continue to inspire and influence new generations of actors and actresses, with her legendary portrayals of Scarlett O'Hara and Blanche Dubois remaining two of the most iconic roles in cinematic history. As Laurence Olivier once said, "Vivien was a true artist, a woman of great passion and great talent. She had a fire within her that burned brightly, and it was this fire that drove her to create some of the most unforgettable performances of our time." Leigh's legacy extends far beyond her own body of work, with her influence visible in the countless actresses who have followed in her footsteps. From Meryl Streep to Cate Blanchett, many of the greatest actresses of our time have cited Leigh as a major inspiration, praising her bravery, her vulnerability, and her unwavering commitment to her craft. In many ways, Leigh's struggles with mental health and personal turmoil only serve to underscore her incredible strength and resilience. Despite facing countless challenges throughout her life, she continued to create some of the most iconic performances in cinematic history, inspiring generations of actors and actresses to follow in her footsteps. Her legacy is a testament to the power of art to transcend time and circumstance, to touch our hearts and minds in ways that nothing else can. She may be gone, but her spirit lives on, inspiring us to shoot for the stars, to chase our dreams, and to never give up on our passions, no matter what challenges we may face. That's all for today's Star Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'm Casey Gold reminding you to keep shooting for the stars.